just want to give you the chance to start off and tell a little bit about your story. How did you get to be Larry Flynt? Where did it all begin?
Well, I was successful not because of what I did, but in spite of what I did. I started Hustler in the Midwest, which wasn't necessarily known as the talent center of the world. But pretty soon I got the grasp of it and moved on. But you were mentioning what the company now does, but we're very big in the gaming business now. We have 2 new casinos that will be opening this year. And
is the casino the most profitable division in the business right now?
No, our broadcast is by far the most profitable. I'm the largest content provider for satellite and cable television in the world. And cable, you know, in foreign countries is very much in its infancy like it was here a few decades ago. But we were able to get in on the ground floor of that and realize that content is what these people needed. And we've got the largest market share of anybody in the broadcast business.
Now, the content that you talk about used to only be available in published form, in magazines. Do you think magazines will be dead in a couple of years?
Oh, I've always said that. I noticed that 20 years ago that the internet was going to take a toll on publishing. But it's not just Hustler. It's the big publishing houses, like that do the glamour magazines in New York. They're all off 30% over the last 5 years. So it's something that publishers are going to have to deal with. We've had over a dozen major daily newspapers go out of business in the last 5 years. So I think print, as far as magazines go, is just not a good investment because people go to the internet for what they want.
People also go to the internet for what they want and don't want to pay for it. How is that going to change the adult industry?
Well, with the adult industry, what you have to have is quality. And that's what all people that have an interest in adult material. And I'd like to point out that going back, 25, 30 years ago, the adult business was a man's world. Today, it's not. Women are involved as well. So there are couples that popcorn and sit on a couch at home and watch an adult film. It's no big deal. But it's happening, and that's a definite change in our culture.
When you compare mainstream popular culture now with the adult industry 40 years ago, has pornography moved over to the mainstream?
I think so. It's pretty much as commonplace as apple pie. I know there's always the detractors, but let's face it, people have always been interested in pornography ever since the great masters started painting it,
What kind of advice or direction would you give to someone that wants to create their own media company? Do it all online or start broadcasting?
You have to go online digitally or possibly get in the broadcast if you think you've got the content or something that people are willing to pay for. But we're going up with Hustler online digitally very soon because we're doing that to preserve the brand and to make sure that the magazine continues. But in many ways, it's going to be much more than the magazine you get on the newsstand because you're going to have going to be able to watch movies. You're going to be able to buy products that we sell in the hustler stores and things of this nature. They'll get a daily feed of adult news that comes out of the city on a daily basis. And
now, Larry, you've had some run-ins with the government in the past. In fact, you were played by Woody Harrelson in a movie entitled The People versus Larry Flynt. And more recently, the National Security Agency has been in the news. You've been a proponent of First Amendment rights. What do you make of the NSA's role in surveillance of American citizens?
Well, first of all, I don't think Snowden is a hero. But I think he did open a very important dialogue and done not just the United States but the world a favor, because we have to have secrets in order to stay in business. We got to be able to control troop movements and things like that. But if you sign on and you violate the law by releasing information that you shouldn't, you know, you've committed a crime. But we do need more transparency, and I would hope, I constantly lose faith in that group in the Senate and Congress, but hopefully, you know, they'll have the integrity and the backbone that it needs to develop a system that's acceptable to the American people and something that will allow us to function in the world.
Larry, let's just stay with Washington and Congress and the President for just a moment. The President's scheduled to give his State of the Union message later tonight. What would you like to hear the President say?
I'd like for him to tell Congress that they've got plenty of legislation that they can pass right now. And if they don't pass it under his watch, they're going to have to pass it under Hillary Clinton, so they might as well do it now.
Is there one particular piece of legislation that you're focused on?
Well, I think they need to do immigration. I think they need to do gun legislation. I think they, even though the Farm Bill got passed, it's not what it should be. It needs to be redone. But they don't know how to govern anymore.
Now, at the age of 71, if you cast your mind over your career of 4 decades in this business, if you could do something over again, what would it be?
When I went on trial in Georgia, I would have worn my bulletproof vest. That would have kept me out of this wheelchair for over 30 years. I don't mean to be facetious by saying that, but that's true. That's about the only regret I ever had.